All of Rimuru's subordinates are extremely neurotic. Even with the slightest possibility of being abandoned, they will immediately break down. Take Diablo as an example. When Rimuru said, "You can go home," the original intention was that Rimuru wanted to give Diablo a vacation. However, Diablo thought he was being abandoned. The Demon Lord burst into tears on the spot. It was as if the words, "I can't live without being here," were almost written on his face. And in the spin-off manga, there is a similar misunderstanding. Beretta, Shion, Shu, and Soei accidentally witnessed Rimuru performing a magic ritual. They instantly mistook it for an exorcism ritual. They immediately thought that Rimuru was going to expel them. They were all afraid of being driven away, and the scene immediately fell into chaos. Coincidentally, the day before this incident happened, Carrera and Ultima were still competing over who could punish a thief. Testarossa had just successfully returned from a diplomatic mission. When Rimuru casually said, "Take a rest," the three demon girls were instantly petrified. To them, take a rest sounded like, "We don't need you anymore." In fact, every time Rimuru just wanted to give his subordinates a vacation, but for his loyal subordinates, even taking a rest makes them feel like they are being rejected. The various details of the collaboration between Fate and Honkai Star Rail are more than worthy of acclaim. According to the currently known information, Archer will appear as an obtainable character. The name of his ultimate skill is Unlimited Blade Works. The name of his combat skill is Law IS. The name of his Star Soul 3 is Triple Linked Crane Wings. The name of his Star Soul 6 is Kalad Ball. Let's take a look at how these are presented in the animation. Unlimited Blade Works is definitely the most well-known skill of Archer. There is absolutely no problem with it being Archer's ultimate skill in this collaboration. In the animation, it is presented as a reality marble. It can forcefully pull the opponent into it for a one-on-one battle. This reality marble is also the battlefield where Shiru had a great battle with Gilgamesh, and Kaladbolg is actually what everyone knows as the nuclear bomb sword. The swords of gradation air are twisted into a spiral shape, and then it is shot out as an arrow. Its power is as great as that of a nuclear bomb. This is also one of the few occasions where Archer uses a bow and arrow. Let's take a look at Law IS. It sounds like a combat skill for defense. This skill has withstood the bombardment from Gilgamesh's Gate of Babylon. It directly withstood the Excalibur of Saber, Alter head-on. In the animation, it can really fight on par with anyone. Triple-linked crane wings is indeed something relatively obscure. Archer's triple-linked crane wings is actually a form of swordsmanship. First, the sword of Ganjiang and Moye is thrown out. It slides through the air, leaving a slashing trajectory. This is used to confuse the opponent. Then the two swords of gradation air are used to slash at close range. We can see it more clearly in the Noble Phantasm of Chloe in Fate Grand Order. Just from the leaked information, we can see so many details. This collaboration is so carefully crafted, it makes me look forward to what kind of special chemical reactions the characters in Honkai Star Rail will have in the storyline. Especially on our train, there is also the Herrscher of Reason, who can also conjure objects out of thin air. It is highly likely that Jizui and Roren He are the same person, and there are 5 reasons in total. First, and the most suspicious point for me, Jizui and Roren He share exactly the same hair color and eye color, and their body types are even very similar. Up to the current plot, such a situation has not occurred with most main characters. Second, the two characters debuted almost consecutively. Roren He first appeared in episode 5 of the anime's second season, while Jisui debuted in episode 6 of the second season before Roren He entered the palace. There was never a palace maid named Jisui in the Imperial Harem. Third Ran, another palace maid, is either doing chores or resting after work when she appears. In Jisui's scenes, however, she is almost always catching insects and never seen performing actual maid duties. This is unrealistic for a palace maid. Fourth, in the recently updated episode, Neko discovered Jisui's sketchbook for drawing insects. The paper Jisui uses is of extremely high quality. As the anime previously mentioned, high-quality paper is exclusively supplied to the Emperor, and manufacturers raise its price accordingly. Such superior paper is definitely unaffordable for an ordinary palace maid. Fifth, Roren He has never spoken in the anime, and the production company has never revealed her voice actor. It is highly unusual for a character who debuted in episode 5 to have their voice actor undisclosed, suggesting the anime team is consciously hiding this information. Finally, and most importantly, Roren He and Jisui have never appeared together in any scene. 1 minute takes you whose child Ninshi is. In the anime, when Mao Mao interacts with Adohi, she notices that Adohi, dressed in men's clothing, bears a striking resemblance to Ninshi, leading to the question of whether Ninshi could be Adohi's child. So who exactly are Ninshi's parents? First, Ninshi has been raised by Kotaigo since childhood. Everyone believes he is the son of Kotaigo and the previous emperor, and even the current Kotei treats him as a younger brother, having him attend almost all important occasions. However, a small incident occurred beforehand. Kotaigo and Adohi gave birth at the same time. When the doctor was assisting Adohi in childbirth, news suddenly came that Kotaigo was experiencing a difficult labor. The doctor was forcibly taken away to attend to Kotaigo, and the shortage of medical staff caused Adohi to lose her ability to bear children afterward. This experience made Adohi believe that as only the crown prince's wife, her power was insufficient to protect her child, so she swapped her own child with Kotaigo's. After the swap, the child left, with Adohi died from being fed honey by a palace maid, while Ninshi, who grew up by Kotaigo's side, is actually Adohi's biological child. Therefore, Ninshi is the legitimate heir to the throne. Adohi achieved her goal of protecting her child, and before leaving the palace, she confessed this matter. The number 7 in the 7 deadly sins actually represents 7 laws. Even the most powerful Meliodas can't defy them. Now, it has been revealed that the laws are as follows. Law 3. Members are not allowed to ask questions to other members. Team members seldom inquire about each other's past. For example, Meliodas conceals his identity as a demon, and Gowther avoids the issue of his memory loss. Law 4. If a member is in crisis, everyone must do their utmost to provide assistance. There are many instances where members push beyond their limits to save their companions. For example, Ban sacrifices his immortality to resurrect a lame Law. 5. When there is a disagreement between 2 members, they can resolve it through a fight. Typical cases include the several duels between Meliodas and Ban, as well as the giant-style communication between Diane and King Law 6. If there is a life-and-death battle among the members of the Sins, the other 5 members must do their best to stop them, even if it means eliminating the instigator. In the Resurrection of the Commandments arc, when Meliodas goes on a rampage, the other members join forces to subdue him, and the last law, Law 7. It is necessary to unite from time to time and collaborate as a team. Key battles against the 10 Commandments, the Demon King, etc. all rely on team cooperation. For example, the combination of Escanor's the One and Meliodas' full counter. However, only 5 laws are revealed throughout the whole work. 2 of them are only disclosed in an OVA animation, and the 2 unrevealed laws are the first 2 laws. Why does Lucy have such a deep obsession with the moon? Hidden behind this is Kong Pa, the cruelty of the cyber world. When Lucy was a child, she was deceived by the Arasaka Corporation into becoming an old net scavenger. Watching her comrades die and barely managing to escape herself, this pain caused her to completely despair of human society. Therefore, the most direct reason she wants to go to the moon is to escape this world. She once told David, "The moon is a place with no people." This sentence directly highlights what she desires most. In Night City, where everyone does whatever it takes to survive, the moon has become the only haven in her heart. But Lucy's moon dream took on a different meaning after David appeared. David said he would take her to the moon and even memorized that it would cost 250,000 eddies. When Lucy asked in shock, "You actually remembered?" It revealed she had long given up this dream due to reality's harshness. Yet David rekindled her hope, turning the moon into a shared vision of their love. However, David ultimately sacrificed his life to fulfill his promise. Lucy used the reward to board the moon and left a message beside David's urn. "You didn't take me to the moon, I took you instead." In that moment, the moon became a sanctuary of longing for Lucy. After David's death, the moon transformed into a spiritual totem for her to resist nihilism and hold on to her inner self. Just like in Mom's The Moon and Sixpence, Lucy's pursuit of the moon is also a search for meaning in this cold world. How many ninjas did Jiraiya train in his lifetime? The common consensus is 6, but there is actually a hidden 7th. The 6 more well-known disciples are Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage proficient in the Flying Thunder God technique, and Rasengan. As Jiraiya's early student, he inherited Mount Myoboku, Sage Art and the Toad Summoning Contract, Naruto Uzumaki, the 7th Hokage, and Jiraiya's most cherished disciple. Jiraiya taught him not only techniques like Rasengan and summoning jutsu, but also guided his growth as the child of prophecy. Konan, a member of Akatsuki master of paper-style ninjutsu, she grew up alongside Nagato and Yahiko, as Jiraiya's disciple, ultimately sacrificing herself to protect Nagato's will. Yahiko, one of the founders of Akatsuki, Jiraiya instructed him in water release techniques. Though his death directly led to Nagato's descent into darkness, his will to protect comrades became the spiritual foundation of Akatsuki. Nagato and Yahiko and Konan were adopted by Jiraiya as children learning ninjutsu and the ways of survival Nagato. Despite later falling into darkness, as Pain of Akatsuki was deeply influenced by Jiraiya in both ability and philosophy. philosophy. The seventh disciple is Boruto Uzumaki. Although Boruto is taught by Kishin Koji inherits Jiraiya's will. In Boruto, Naruto. Next generations, Kishin Koji teaches Boruto numerous powerful techniques, even enabling him to master the Flying Thunder God technique. It seems Jiraiya's destiny was always to nurture the future legends of the ninja world.